So today we're setting up a Nyerium masternode, and we'll go through all the steps to get one up and running on your computer and your VPS, because we are going to be doing a hot-cold wallet, so none of the funds are actually on the VPS, so no one can really steal it from you. You may want to have the Discord, because the Discord is usually the most relevant information, most up-to-date information on most coins. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to their GitHub and get the proper wallet for our OS. Make sure you're proper. The 86 is for 64. The 64 is for 32. I don't know why they make it like that, just to confuse me, I swear. But that's the way it is. So we're going to download it. And then I'm going to open it. Oh, I already had it there, but I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it into my documents folder. You can put it wherever you want, of course. There's no problems. So there we have it. Now, what I would suggest doing is starting the wallet up. Your antivirus will see it as a virus. It's not. It sees all wallets, and not all, but most wallets, most Bitcoin miners or anything as viruses. So start it up, and then I would suggest shutting it down. Now, if you want to navigate to a certain folder, I'll show you where it is. It's users, and then the name of your administrator, and then app data, roaming, and then you're going to see this new Nyerium folder. And then you see all this stuff right here. Now, what I'm doing is, what you may want to do is you may want to go onto Discord and get a recent list of ad nodes from there. I'm sure someone will help you and give you those. I couldn't see a pin or anything. I'll ask the dev to maybe pin a proper list just to make it a little bit easier for him. This is the file you want to do. It's the Nyerium.config. Now, you can access all of these files, the masternode, the peer list, the masternode, your configuration file, from the wallet, but me personally, I like to just go into the app data. So now I'm going to go back to that folder I was in, and I'm going to overwrite the Nyerium config file. Now, I'll replace. Now I'm going to open it up and show you just what's in it. All it is just add nodes so that the wallet will sync a little bit quicker. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start the wallet again. So go into the location of where it's at. Mine was in documents. And start the wallet back up. Now, it should just start up just like this. Now, I'll show you what I was talking about before. So you have your configuration file. If I open that, it should show all my nodes, or all my ad nodes. Yep. Perfect. This wallet's been used. I've been using it for a little while now. And then the masternode configuration file, we're going to be accessing that later, and we will be using the debug console. You can get ad nodes also from the peer list. Once you have connected peers, you'll see them here, and then you can click on them, and then their IP address and everything will be shown there, and then you can use it. With ad nodes, you don't have to add the port. It's not necessary. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it sit and let it sync up. I forgot to mention something that's important, that once you've added your ad nodes, you need to close the wallet down and then restart it back up. And that's with everything. If you edit any of those files I mentioned, the masternode config file, the Nyerium config file, that once you're done editing them, you have to close the wallet and then restart it for the changes to take effect. So while your wallet is syncing, what I would suggest doing is go into your receive tab. Now, you won't see any of these here. And then I would make a label. And then honestly, I go something like that, RCV for receiving. You can pick whatever you want, and then request payment. I'm not going to. I don't want a million addresses in my wallet, and then you have that wallet, and then you have that address, and you go like this, and then click on the wallet that you want to do and show. Copy your address and use that, or double click it and Control C, whatever your choice is. And then I would go to the exchange and send the 25,001 coins that I'm going to need for my masternode. to that address. And then once the wallet has synced up, the funds will be there in that account. Now also, while I was at this point, I would also label something like MN0, like I have down here, MN1, whatever you want to name it, masternode 1, whatever you want to name your masternode for your receiving address. I would suggest doing that, and then showing the address and doing it. The reason I use two addresses is because you're going to want exactly 25,000 coins in one, and you're going to need more than 25,000 because there's transaction fees. That's why this is just 25,000 in one, because there's a little bit of transaction fees. And so I put the 25,000 in one account, and then I switch it over to the 25,000. So we'll just let this finish syncing. So once we see this green arrow, that means that our wallet is synced. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to receive and then pick the receiving address that you want to use. Show, copy address, send, and then the 25,000. You need to make sure that this is exactly 25,000. So there you go. And then send. I just did it. So it's going to ask you to confirm. Click yes, and then you'll be fine. Like I said, I just did it. Okay, so we're going to go deploy new server, and then you want to pick a server that's close to your location, and then Ubuntu 16.04. You want to pick the $5 server, and then click on deploy now. Now, you're going to have to give it a minute. See, as it says installing, So, once in about 10-15 seconds, you should be at least able to click on it and be able to get your IP address and password. So there's your IP address. Copy it. Go over into Bitvise. Click on the client installer. Install the program. And then run it. And then paste your IP address there, and paste your address into, first of all, you need to go here, change the username from blank to root, and then click on this initial method, go from none to password, and then you want to paste in the password from Vultr, and then log in. It's still installing, so once you click the login, it's going to ask you for a fingerprint. You want to accept and save that, and then you're going to have these two screens pop up. You can minimize this for now, and then you want to pull up your notepad or however you have those commands all done out. And then you just want to copy and paste them down. Now, I noticed I put a -y on them. That just allows them to, it's going to ask you each time, if you didn't have the -y, if you wanted to use the extra space on your hard drive to install the packages. So that just alleviates the need to have to sit there and hit Y and then enter. And you just go down the list. So if you forget where you're at, you can push the up arrow and it'll show the last command that you control. You can actually push in every single one, or you can view just about every single command that you've ever done on the terminal until you erase a file, I believe. So we just go down, and while you're waiting, you can hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and maybe check out my course on Udemy for some great knowledge about cryptocurrency as a whole. So minus all the pauses I'm taking, it takes about 20 minutes on the Linux server to get it set up. And then maybe another 5 more minutes on the wallet, and then you're pretty much done. So we're pretty close. And most of the commands from this point forward, except for maybe one, are fairly fast, I believe. I think this one, I forget exactly, but I think there's one more that may be a little bit of a length. See, I accidentally missed the Y. It's asking me if I wanted to install the programs. So it's August the 9th, and I know as of yesterday, it took me about 11 or 12 hours to see my first reward. That is going to change depending on the amount of nodes on the network. So it could be more, it could be less, depending on how many nodes there are on the network. I don't know the exact number at this moment. Sorry, I didn't think about looking there to see where it's at. And as you can see, it's fairly quick now from this point forwards. Now this line here, what it does, it's going to install the Nyerium client and daemon file into a folder on your computer. Now what we are going to do is, I'm not going to use these last two lines. I'm going to use Bitwise instead and use their program to I personally think this is a little easier. Click Nyerium D, and then it's going to give you this error right here. That's fine. I would really suggest you just copy this password, right? Copy this user and password, because those are your first two lines that we're going to do. Oh, I'm so used to Windows that I use Control-C in the Linux, but you just have to highlight in Linux, and then it will copy and paste it. So we're going to go down, and we're going to go to the other part of your Bitwise thing. You're going to have this. Now you want to click the refresh button right here, and you see now you have a Nyerium folder. Double click on that, and you'll see a Nyerium.config file. So we are going to open that, and we are going to paste those two lines that we just got right there. We're going to paste, and I am going to type in the information, these things right here, replacing my IP address here with the IP address that I got from Bitwise. And then we already have this. We have random generated thing or whatnot. So we want to give it a quick little look to make sure that everything is syncing up with this, because Linux is very particular. If anything's wrong, even a little space, it won't work. So now that that's done, Control S, save. It will save to your terminal. Now we're going to do Nyerium D again. And now what we want to do is we need to have because we're running a separate wallet on this terminal here. We need to let that sync up with the blockchain again. So we can just do that, get info. So we need to wait for it to sync. Now, while we're waiting for that to sync, actually, there's a couple things that we can do. Why don't we go back to our wallet here, and we are going to go to Tools, and then you're going to go Debug Console. And now you are going to click on masternode gen key. Now that gen key right there, if you took my course on safety about cryptocurrency safety, you'd know that you don't really want anyone else to see that. Now you're going to click in masternode outputs, and then you're going to get that string. So now what we are going to do is we're just going to close this now for a second and go to Tools and then open masternode config file. We need to create a new line. Now name it whatever you want to name it. Your name mine crypto like that, and then you're going to get the IP address from your Vultr server, which will be right here for me. You are going to, whoops, I don't know why I did an extra line, but paste that, and then you are going to put a colon 57418. It's right here. You see, you want to keep that port number the same. Now, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that one. I meant to hit Debug Console again. Now, I'm just going to copy that, actually, you know what? Because you can't, oh, you can maybe, but I'll just put that on a new line. I know it's a little bit messy, but whatever. I'll fix it up after. You want this right here, which is your gen key. And then you're going to click one space. Like I said, it's very important about spaces and whatnot. So one space after that. I'm going to put another space there. Now I'm going to go down here and get this TX hash without the quotes or anything. So I may need to actually, pick it like that. I'm just going to remember the 7 instead of bothering to try to do that. And another thing is you want to just I would just personally just take a look at this number. It's either going to be 0 or 1, so you don't really need to worry about that too much. Let's go up to the top of this here. Here, 7, paste, 1. Now, I'm going to need to go down here. Why I decided to do it that way, but we'll just go like that, delete that. Now, save the file. Close your wallet. I would just minimize that just in case you have any issues. We can go back to this, and we'll still see that we're about 65,000, 70,000 blocks away from it. So it's going to be a little bit. Now, what we can also do is we can go back into here, and while we're waiting, we can go into the Nyerium config file. Now, you're going to write masternode equals 1, and then masternode priv, priv, key equals, and then, I'm glad I kept that open, because here is my priv key, right? Here's that gen key right there is what you want for that masternode priv key line in your terminal or in your VPS. Now you can save it again. Minimize. We'll check back here. Oops, yeah. So, it's going to be another few minutes. So we use the Nyerium -client space get info command. And then once we use it twice and see, if you look here, you'll see the blocks. We use it twice and we see that we're pretty much at the same block. It's not really going any space, and there's been a little bit of time. That means it's not syncing anymore. It's up to current. Or you can just check your wallet and it will show the bottom right corner. If you hover your mouse there, it will show what block we're on. So now that that's done, we're going to go Nyerium -client stop. We're going to stop the daemon, right? Now we're going to start it again. So Nyerium D. Okay, so the reason we did that is because we had that information that we added and we wanted it to now take effect. So now that that's done, we're going to restart our wallet again. So go to the file, browse wherever it is, and then start it up. And then it should only take, depending on how long, it shouldn't take that long to get back up to the normal place. So it's just finishing synchronizing additional data down here. So now we're going to click on the masternode tabs, and we'll see this. Now, there, start alias. Are you sure you want to start? Yes. Successfully started. Now, you see this 000. Now, typically with Nyerium, 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to see this go from 000 to the counter, the active counter. But what we can also do is we can go here and we can go Nyerium client masternode status. See, masternode successfully started. So as we can see, we got the active timer coming down. By the way, you can't use this as an ad node. I'll be destroying this VPS very shortly. There's one other thing I wanted to show you is that you can now go here and then you can copy that. I would suggest Control C. Now, masternodes online. So it's masternodes.online. We're going to go on to here once it decides to load. So now that we're here, we're going to go to monitoring. And then, so since my computer is being so slow, I'll bear you the slow boringness. It's going to ask you to create a new seed number over here. So you're going to create the seed, and then you're going to go back to the login page and then use that seed and then enter it in, and then scroll down the page a little bit and then paste the public address, the one that you got from your wallet there, and search. And then once it loads, you can just click this button and it'll add to monitoring. So that brings you to this page here, and then you can get some information here about this, like how much it's worth, how much you should receive a day. And I talk in details about why I think Nyerium is a good project in this video here. So thanks a lot and have a good day.